festival so far?
I believe we are live now.
Oh.
Well, I've been giving the go, so welcome everyone. Welcome back to. Well, it's fun when everything is asynchronous. Welcome back to this panel. I'm joined once again with the wonderful people from the Cheetah Preservation Foundation, Kalman, the manager, and Greg, the zoological manager. Welcome too.
Hello. Thank you.
Yep.
How are you doing?
Yeah, it's been a great day. Not used to the sun, so I got a little bit of a suntan today. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
The sun is pretty high here as well, so the lighting is terrible. Well, yesterday when we started the animal husbandry, I'm just going to pause this over here because it's annoying to look at myself. Sorry. When we had the animal husbandry, animal training session, we announced the number, and of course we incentivized everything to if they could donate some more, and my God, they did. We are now up to 3,162 euros. Put it into perspective, that's about, was it 64,000 rand?
That's correct, yes.
And that is feeding all of the animals for a month.
That's correct.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
super
perfect.
grateful for that.
Yes.
It's 1 month we don't have to worry about. The most important thing we've done.
Exactly, it's wonderful, and I know we're going to get higher because I also know I haven't donated yet.
Oh wow!
So there's probably I'm sorry. There's probably others. So there is donation links everywhere. There are really friendly admins in the Twitch chat posting it once in a while. It's in the description of the Twitch. It's on Discord. People are probably going to link it to you as well. It should be fairly easy to find. And just like yesterday, we are going to take questions during this interview. You could either ask on the Twitch chat, you could ask on Discord, and we have people picking them up and sending them to me because I cannot keep an eye on everything.
We look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. I actually want to start asking a bit about the background of the ranch, because it wasn't always a ranch. It started out as something slightly different.
You want to go?
Yeah.
I think Craig has got the years of experience.
It was actually first a commercial crocodile farm that was established in 1977. And then the current owners came and fell in love with the place around 1986, around that time. And they were conservationists and animal enthusiasts, and they took the place under their wing, and immediately got to work on more conservation orientated programs. They then established the Cheetah Preservation Foundation. And that's when Cheetah Land was opened as well, which was the first walkover exhibit with large carnivores, and then also started the Cheetah Preservation Breeding Program. And there, the big aim is to promote and fund the conservation of cheetah and other endangered species through captive breeding, research, public awareness, and education. And it's just blossomed from there. It's been a very progressive road since then. And in 2005, we opened the Valley of Ancients, which was also a world-class section of Kango. And in 2006, that project was completed, where we could focus on more endangered species and animals that are sort of facing troubles out in the wild. Yeah.
Like the pygmy
hippos
and our vultures.
That's it. Yeah, radiated tortoises, which we've had great success in as well.
Right. It sounds like you're focusing a lot on endangered species. That is the predominant types of animal species you have in the ranch, on the ranch.
I don't think. Yeah, we don't have a majority of endangered species. We've got species that have a variety of purposes at our facility. Okay. So obviously we're a faceted institution. So we have a very important role to educate the public, because without people changing their behavior to have more positive impacts on wild environments, no conservation effort on this planet will be successful. So we need to change the way people think. So obviously our animals come in with various purposes. Some of our animals are here for their attraction value, like Nevada, our beautiful tiger. He brings people from as far as Cape Town who just want to see him. If it wasn't for him, there's actually a lot of the infrastructure that we wouldn't have on our facility, because he stole somebody's heart to that extent. And then obviously the animals need to have an education value, they need to have a conservation value, and most importantly is we need to have the ability to house them. So we've got a whole variety of animals, but a large majority of the animals that we do our conservation work with, and a lot of our research, will be your threatened species. Yeah. Okay,
cool. What was it? Yeah. There are a couple of people. You mentioned the current owners, Glenn and Andrew Erickson.
Yes.
I've seen at least Andrew pop up in various videos.
Yes, the lemur dance video, I think, is one of them.
Well, a couple of videos. Who are they? Could you tell us a bit more about them?
Okay. Sure. I don't think I've got the capacity to do that just like this. I think they're just too phenomenal.
Amazing people.
They're not bosses. They're parents. And they're not only parents to their staff. They'll take a bullet for each and every animal in this facility as well. I actually get emotional if I. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Testify to that. They started the ranch when they had their firstborn, and then they had 2 more children, and that is the core of this business. It's a family-driven business, and everything revolves around that. And so, right. I mean, we've got a staff complement of nearly 100 people. Everyone has their own family, and I mean, in families, things happen. And Mr. E and Mrs. E, like we call them, they love you with anything you bring, whatever you go through. I mean, they know life is real, and they know every person goes through certain things, right. And they give you that space. They help you through it. It's phenomenal support, and I'm very fortunate to be Mr. E's PA. So yeah, there's so much that you can learn from them. I myself, when I started here, was a little bit fragile and had a lot to learn, and they took me through steps, and that's actually where my journey started with the Cheetah Preservation Foundation. The previous manager had to go due to personal reasons, and the whole program sort of flattened. Right. And there were memberships lost and relationships lost, and Mr. E said, you know what? Take this and make it your own, and then see if you can build it up again. And I had no idea where to start, and we would have people show up and ask about their memberships, but we were just honest about it, and we took it from there to the point where it is today, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They sound like really amazing people, really engaged, creating that family feeling among all of what staff it is, but it sounds like it's going to be family more than a job.
Definitely.
Yes, the Kango is a lifestyle. It's
And like Craig said, like a father figure, when they allow you as staff to do stuff, and when you make a mistake, I mean, they give you that opportunity to grow and work through it.
Right.
As long as you can be open about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That sounds really amazing. That's fine, no worries. Oh no. Well, that kind of leads me on to you have everything brought up to the part where the ranch is going good, conservation work is going good, and now the coughing and Corona hits the world.
You see, that was my intro.
Yes, exactly. It was a perfect segue. I had an excuse to bring it up. I can imagine that had been really, really tough.
Yeah.
Could you take us back to the days where everything started to close down?
So, if I can quickly come in here, Mr. and Mrs. Erickson appointed a few people as they did a semi-retirement. I mean, they've been involved for so many years. And then they would always be involved and check on the numbers and figures and just see how we're doing. I mean, this remains their brainchild. And then, I mean, they obviously saw this pandemic coming, and they came onto the ranch in March, and they said, you know what, whatever comes our way, we're here and we're going to help you.
Right.
And it still didn't seem real, not at all. We were still operating the one day, and the very next day, lockdown started, 27th of March in our country. And literally that day, we've got a video, and that day when they stopped the facilities and when they started the lockdown was also the day that our income totally stopped. And it's literally like if you've got that image of someone going into jail and the doors closing behind them and everything just gets black. That's literally how we felt. Because now we've got an animal collection of 4,600 animals. We've got 100 staff, and there's no money. And we didn't even know where to start. So yeah, that was how it started for us.
Yeah, that was super tricky.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Seeing your basically your entire life just being put to a halt.
Yes, and you can't freeze feeding animals.
Yeah.
So we immediately had to. I think in your country you refer to it as furlough. We call it unemployment fund, like UIF. So you know, there's a money protection that is paid from their salary. So we had to send a few staff home, but there was some kind of compensation for them.
Yeah.
And then every month as the lockdown continued, where we started with only 20 of our staff at home, we had to send another 20 and another 20. And that was really getting scary, because now the people that stayed behind, they were carrying the extra load, coming in every day, cleaning, feeding the animals. But as scary as that was, we made a video, almost just like now, expressing our fears and concerns, and we just started sending it out to our volunteers that have been here, our visitors. As we do surveys, we sent it out. Every single person whose contact details we managed to have, with their permission, of course, we sent out this cry for help, literally. And we had people like Craig and myself and the other staff, you know, just mentioning our concerns, and we were very blessed indeed to receive so much help.
Yeah,
I remember. Sorry, just continue.
Yeah, no, I think the one thing that pleases me the most, if there's any silver lining to this COVID, is that our animal care was not hindered in the least.
Yes.
We were able to cover all bases. It was really difficult because obviously as soon as there was a staff member who had contact with somebody who was tested positive for COVID, then we had to do everybody in isolation. So that happened a few times, and then we just lose like 3/4 of our workforce, just like that, overnight, and everybody's got to go. And that leaves you with the 1 week, I think there was 4 or 5 people attending to all the animals on the facility for a whole week. Because everybody was
I was the only person in the whole admin building where we usually have 20 people, just to try and keep operations going.
Yeah.
That sounds so tough, having to go through all of that. I remember I have watched the video, and it really tugs all of your heartstrings. It is so heart-wrenching having to see all of that. I'm sorry, now I'm starting to get wet eyes as well. But you mentioned that the staff was getting was it furloughed? It's English is not my main language either. It's not my main language, so I can't remember all of the correct words. I remember during the first live stream you did for us Friday morning. I remember someone mentioned that even though people were wasn't going to get paid or anything coming there, they were still coming in to help simply just because they love the animals, they love this work.
Yes, so Mr. E is very open about when things go wrong. You knew this was going to happen.
Sorry.
So his communication, I think, is what makes us respect him the most. So he would call us together, just like a family, and say, listen, guys, another month extended, another month, of no income. This is what's going to happen. And, there's that absolute honesty and then trust, because we knew that he was fighting this with us. And so when we walked away from a meeting, one of those meetings, he saw one of the caretakers actually crying because she was on the next list of employees, and he comforted her, and she asked him, she said, you know what, let me come, let me just be with my animal. I want that more than anything. I don't care about it. And I mean, there were a number of staff that came in 7 o'clock in the morning, that left 5 in the evening, and they were dedicated. And I mean, apart from that, so obviously there's no income. I then approached a few people, just as we wanted to take care of our animal family. We had to also take care of all these people that had a cut on their income. So we had a company they called Gift of the Givers. They saw my email, and I put all the names there of the people that I was in our wish list to get a meal parcel. And they met us here, and they fed 40 of our families that were not working, and they each got a month's worth of groceries from them. So that's the kind of blessings we received, both for people and animals.
That's really nice. It's a sad situation, but it's so good to hear that kind of stories as well. That everything somehow works out anyway. Despite everything going on. Just to give you a slight briefer with the sad tales, I'm going to direct the audience to your YouTube channel. Not going to set them off yet, but they have a lot of videos being recorded over the last 3 months, where everything has been locked down. There is several really hilarious ones. You are so kind to send the dance video to us. And it also just shows you burn for this place so much that you want to stand up and be silly.
Yes, I mean,
when I saw it the first time, I was just laughing at it. It was amazing. It was so sweet.
Yes. I'm glad you loved it, and we need to share it with people. I'm glad for this new audience to share in it as well, because it just proves that no matter what comes your way, as a team, you can get through it. And we've got an amazing leader, being Mr. and Mrs. Eriksson, and they show us that do not give up attitude. So we've got that to live up to.
There's another video that I really, really liked. I was looking through this specifically was the Zoo Olympics.
Yes.
You'd probably know which one I'm going to refer to now, Carmen. Especially the grand final. Yes, exactly.
Why would you have to go there?
Because it's fun. I think it's adorable. And it lifts the spirit.
Okay, so do you want to know what happened?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I think it was kudu droppings they gave us, and we had to spit them. But then I thought I was very loved and appreciated around here. But some of my very good colleagues found out that I've got a little thing about milk.
Oh.
So usually, I handle things well. And then Mr. E thought, you know what, let's just end this on a high note. And when I wasn't looking, he poured that milk onto those kudu droppings, and that was me. Like the rest of the afternoon, I had a hard time putting myself back together. But it's all in the name of fun and just, spreading the word and showing how much we love being here.
Exactly. That's why I really, really loved it. I was laughing my ass off earlier today watching it. It's just, oh, this is so crazy. It's so fun. But now you have started opening up the ranch again.
Yes, we did. About a month ago. Yeah.
With a lot of restrictions still.
Yes, so firstly, what they did with the level 3 in our country, they said that you are allowed to open your restaurants, but with limited seating. And then Mr. Erickson was like, we can possibly use that scenario and just see how we can make it happen, because we have got 2 restaurants on our facility. So we went through a whole COVID protocol system to see how we can ensure safety and distance, and we marked everywhere, and we have people assigned literally to that duty to keep social distance, to keep people sprayed and cleaned and masks on. And so it was in the middle of a week, and it was very quiet. And then I was actually the manager on duty that first weekend. And then it was crazy. Yeah. So we suddenly went from having no one around to almost, I think it was 200 people that first Saturday. And
it was madness.
We were spinning because half the staff and those 200 people, had to be helped at the restaurant, and we had to make sure that they maintained their social distance, etc. But that was a good preparation of what was to come.
Yeah. Now it's a breeze.
Yes, and now guided tours are allowed, and in the week it's still quiet in the week. We have, say, 10 to 20 people some days, but now at least on a weekend we know that there are at least 200 per day coming through our gates.
Okay, that's good. It sounds really good that it's starting to pick up again. That the locals are still supporting you, still wants to see everything.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, they've just opened the interprovincial traveling now as well, so now we can get people from other provinces. And I was chatting to 2 of our adopters who adopted one of our cheetahs today. Well, they've been adopters for a long time.
5 years.
5 years. Awesome people. And they were saying they're seeing a lot more people on the roads and taking leave. So we're hoping for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to hear. So it's not all doom and gloom still.
No. I think we've got a long way to get before we're out of the woods, but there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think what was a crucial deciding factor for us to use the element of our restaurant. So we don't receive any government support, but the UIF system works through our government protocol, and they keep track of each employee. So what they did, they created a funding to help tourism facilities like ours during the COVID period, but only a short percentage. And then at the beginning of July, they stopped that financial support as well. And we were then faced with a scenario where all our staff that were then at home, suddenly now their salaries had to be paid, but there was still no work available to be done. So you can imagine we started in a minus in a time where there was not even any income.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, that's just when they changed the level slightly and we could use what we have to get through that.
Okay. I can only hope that you get the same support from the locals and everyone that we have seen in entertainment businesses here. People have really just flocked to help.
Yeah, I must say that the locals have been amazing, and the people in Oudtshoorn have been phenomenal. We've been getting a lot of support from here, from George, Mossel Bay, Knysna. The local towns have been really amazing. Yeah, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I think we'd be in big trouble. So, very big thank you to our local people.
Apart from financial donations, we, for example, received a bucket load of beets, and then a bucket load of carrots, and bedding for our animals.
Meat,
yes, and other veggies. Because I mean, just we go through 2 tons of pears.
2 tons of apples and pears
cucumbers, so people don't realize how much we need to care for all our animals.
That is a lot.
It's insane.
No, it's hectic. And also, I think what's really helped as well was we had quite a few volunteers who also came in and offered their time to actually come and help us, and just whether it be picking up animal feces all day or just scrubbing animal food bowls. That's also been a great help during this time as well.
Yeah, because none of the work that is normally done stops just because the world stops.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes. Every day camps had to be cleaned, animals had to be checked. There had to be some bonding, and we did notice with our leopard, for example, when we would walk past, because now obviously there's not so much traffic going over their enclosures, and she would literally run and like almost talk to you like your house cat would, and like yelp out and be happy to see you, and there would be that communication, and that was in the middle of COVID, and we realized that even the animals started to feel like, listen, there's something weird is happening here. We're not seeing what we used to. And that's when we realized that the impact was far greater.
Absolutely.
Right, even they knew something was wrong.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And I think, it was a lot for them to get used to. I mean, they were familiar with people all the time. And I think the people definitely, our visitors, form part of their daily enrichment too. So some of them will lie and watch the people for ages. It's like at our private reserve, we've got a couple of springbok, and our cheetahs would just sit there and watch them. It's like cheetah TV. And, a lot of our other animals, like our otter as well, you could definitely see as soon as somebody's there, she'd just be so happy to see somebody. She's right there by you, just saying hello.
Yeah. Well, of course, I've never been fortunate to visit your ranch, but I remember having, when I visit other zoos and so on, the others are always so playful. They're always running around, coming close to people as they can, watching. They seem like they really enjoy having people around them.
They love attention.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
And then it's just gone.
Yeah.
And it was gone for 4 months. Yeah.
Like Craig was saying, so every now and then we come to a point where we've got a project on the ranch. So a few years ago, it was 2012, we started to see a need for, if you take our animal collection and the over 90 different species we've got here, when one of them would be ill, we would like those that are not that bad, treat them in one of the little offices of the curators, or we'd have a constant vet bill of hundreds of thousands of rands, because we'd have to take them there and then, have them pay for the treatment over there, etc. So then that year, my boss had this plan. Sorry. Oh, my apologies. I think it's all this talk. So we wanted to build an on-site animal care center to firstly save money and time, especially if there is an emergency, and to be able to set up, the proper facilities to take care of these animals. Craig was just touching on that earlier. So that's where one of our visitors were here, and he spotted Nevada, the white striped tiger. And his question was, okay, so I want to support this tiger, but I want to be the only one.
Ooh.
And yes, exactly. So we started talking, and he asked about possible projects, and it obviously went that far that he sponsored the entire building.
Wow.
Where literally then, I think a year after completion, Nevada happened to develop a fungus in his one paw.
Yeah.
And we had to treat him in this facility that we had on site, and we wouldn't have been able to do that because he had to stay off of natural grass and sand in a clean environment for a month. But this facility is built in such a way that you can open up the interior and make it larger or smaller depending on the animal. And since then, we've had multiple animals stay in there. We've got our crocodiles who spend their winter in there, and we call it the winter hotel because they've got heated flooring, they've got a heated pool, so it's the best kind of treatment for them.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. People coming in and assist with all of that. Speaking of assistance, you mentioned it. You mentioned them several times already. You are using volunteers. So of course you have a volunteer program of some sort. In case anyone thinks that they really, really would like to help out as soon as all of the travel restrictions and so on is lifted.
Yeah. Basically, look, our volunteer program was also at multi-functions, the volunteer program that we had open just before this. And obviously a place like ours would attract a lot of volunteers. So in order for us to sort of control the numbers and be able to provide a quality experience where people can not only come and work and enjoy this environment, but also develop some skills where they'd actually get a certification afterwards, where they would actually maybe have a foot in the door to pursue a career in this field. So it's something that we did through our on-site accommodation, hands down the best volunteer accommodation in the country. And so
if you have to say so. It looks amazing. I've seen the pictures. It looks really good.
Can confirm.
I must say. And so basically, then our volunteers would just pay for their meals and their accommodation, and then they come and form part of the program on site. And so that's how the general volunteer program was structured. And this obviously also included our internship program, where we get interns from universities to come and do their papers and their work here. And but now in the lockdown, we actually had volunteers that would just come in every morning, which is something that we haven't really pursued a lot in the past. But I think maybe going forward, it is something we're going to look at. But we have to manage it very carefully so that we don't get overwhelmed. Because our orientation program for our volunteers is roughly 3 days. So there's a lot to take in, a lot of safety precautions, a lot of hygiene precautions. So there's a lot to think about before we can actually get somebody operational on site.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially now with COVID and everything, health and safety precautions are really sky high.
Yes, no, ridiculous. Yeah. We've got the right person for the job though, who's set up the whole system. Narinda has been phenomenal at keeping the facility safe, and she's taken it by storm. And we've pretty much got something for everything, a protocol. And if a new one comes in, we're on it. We've got everything covered to keep our animals and our staff safe.
So on our website, it's kango.co.za or kangowildlife.com. You will find there's an extra button where it takes you to the volunteer website. So over there, they've got the costing, because included is your accommodation and your food and everything. And yes,
optional,
and so, and they even take you to certain areas like bungee jumping near Plettenberg Bay. So you've got other activities that we take you to. That's also, a dream come true for most people, and skydiving. But so they've got the whole system there. Maybe I can share that link with Futeko later, but he's also got all our info for those that want to volunteer. And then I think the least number of days is a 2-week period. And where, you get involved from cleaning enclosures to food preparation, and it's really amazing.
Well, just for people who doesn't know, Futeko is another EF staff member, and he volunteers every single year for a period.
The 7th year.
7, now impressive.
That.
How many? Sorry.
Oh
yeah, I can do it as well.
I never know it works that way.
At least I can just mute my microphone. How many volunteers do you actually have that are recurring? Is there a good retention on people coming back?
There's actually a few that come back. I think Futiko is definitely one of our more consistent returnees, if I can call it that. Yeah, I don't think we really have. I don't think we've got anybody who returns as much as he did. We did have Janet.
And Nikki Misano. Well, there's a few people that come like at least 2 or 3 times as life permits. But they definitely do return.
Absolutely.
And they do tell us that, it's definitely a different standard, because what they see on our Facebook page, what we promise is definitely what we deliver. And they do get that quality animal time. I think that's very important for people that want to volunteer. They want to know that you will get that animal interaction, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I remember somewhere on the website it says you are helping out with the enrichment activities as well.
Yes.
In a big way. I think some of our great enrichment ideas come from our volunteers. We give them the capacity to and the privilege of coming up with ideas, and it follows an approval process. Obviously, we've got to say no to some of them with some of their crazy ideas, but there's a lot of them that actually bring a lot of input to the table and helps us establish some amazing activities for the animals.
It's always good to have fresh ideas from outside.
That's so true. Yeah, a fresh eye is always good.
Well, it's amazing the people want to and have the capacity to do it, and especially when traveling all the way from Europe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
And again, audience, in case anyone wants to have a look at it, I am sure someone will. I see the website has already been shared.
Oh, wow.
So there is a fantastic way. Sorry,
I just want to thank the people who are on Twitch helping us and answering and using their time to assist us. Honestly, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
I mean, that is some of the most wonderful thing about being in this fandom is you are completely surrounded by so many really nice people. They offer so much of their spare time, their money to help and support. So yeah, definitely thank you to everyone.
And to you as well. I mean, you spent your time listening to us and helping to share our story.
It's an honor for me to be able to assist with that. But I am just a talking head, just like you. I am surrounded with people that are talented, bring in fresh ideas and say, can't we do this? And we would like to do this. Sure, I'm going to help you get maybe find some funding or something like that. But if you want to support with something, this is general EF charity commercial right now. If you have something you would like to tell us, have a great idea, offer, send us an email. There is links both on Discord and EF website. So just send on an email and someone is going to pick it up and listen to his proposal. Or if you just have general questions, we're more than happy to answer them as well. Now I got away from what I was thinking. Well, we only have about 20 minutes left. Time flies when having fun. Changing the topic is a slight bit. You of course have a lot of visitors coming through the park, at least before all of this happened. I assume there are many types of visitors you encounter on a regular basis.
Yeah.
If I can mention, so we've got different seasons under normal circumstances. Usually for us in our country and in Oudtshoorn especially, being such a small town, our winters are very tough because we've got little traveling going on. But luckily for us, in a country on the other side of the world, the Indian people, for some reason, decided that time of the year was their ideal traveling, and they love South Africa. And then, of course, I don't know if many of you know them, but they don't travel in small families. They come in busloads. So that's good for us. We've got one company, for example, that would book 1,000 Indian families for one season. So that would be May till about September. And then we would at least know, our possible income through them. And then later in that year, around October, you've got all your school groups. We've got even international companies bringing international schools to us during those times when they do their sports and tournaments, etc. And we would know, okay, that time of the year, then we'll have up to 600 children here a day. And it's burgers and sandwiches and meals, but we pay for that. And then we've got a December season. So that's when we normally have our school holidays, end of the year. And then we've got a peak period, that's over Christmas. And then we look at 1,000 visitors per day. So it gets really busy.
Yeah, I can imagine that. And it's fine, don't worry. It sounds like really. I was really surprised to hear that apparently South Africa is top destination for Indian people. Then again, I am ignorant. So
I think we're very blessed because they come during our quiet time, so that's when they have their summer holidays. And I think South Africa is a very a good destination for them. They're very friendly people. They're very enjoyable people. And obviously you've got to keep your eye on all visitors, some more than others. But
that's with everyone.
Yeah, and I think they enjoy the different cultures in South Africa as well. And it started at one point that it started getting progressively more and more and more. Yes. I think about 12, 13 years ago, that's when the Indian market really started to climb up.
And it's like a safe season now. And we had someone volunteer from India on our volunteer program. And so we spoke to her about their behaviors and how to understand them as our visitors. Because, I mean, in fact, it's for any person from another country. Everyone does something different. So you want to know, what they enjoy, their feeding, etc., what food. And she came and she helped us. And she explained a lot about, they love to bargain. And so we had to get in that mindset and understand why they would always want to bargain any of our costing. So, it just helps you to respect them and to understand them, and then you do your job much better.
And,
of course.
I think if I can add to that, just to put into perspective how fragile our situation is as a private institution that receives no funding from the government, is we've been able to establish security during our winter months because of that market. And there were some laws that sort of changed at some point in South Africa regarding the passports for children. And it almost had a huge impact on that specific market, that we would have lost almost 80% of them coming into the country because of certain things that they wanted to implement in South African legislature regarding families coming with children over the borders. And again, the point I'm trying to make is just how fragile it is, and if that had to happen, the huge repercussions that it would have on our facility.
Yeah, again, you are, well, of course, you're vulnerable to everything that happens. So if there is a law that suddenly cuts out one of your seasons, then it's going to hurt. Just like Corona now, well, cutting out everyone, it hurts deeply.
And apart from just Corona, where we had to close our doors, so we've got a system where Mr. Erickson opened up what he calls a daily book. So from the first day when they opened the ranch 35 years ago, he wrote on that day, it was sunny and it was raining at the coast, and we had 200 people here. And then the next day, it was windy here, the weather was great at the coast, we only had 10 people. And he could tell by looking at these kinds of things, even just the weather or a sports event, and that would have an impact on our number of visitors and us preparing for what's coming. And all of that has given us so much information that we can go back to that and plan and know, okay, wow, in history in 2001, that happened to the Indian season, etc. And what did we do to save the ranch and get through that? So now the point I was making, during this period, we would have had a school holiday, we would have had our National Arts Festival, and then we would have had our Indian season, all major contributors to our financial success. So we've not only lost the fact that there's, a few people coming to visit us daily, but we've lost all of that potential income as well, which we have to try and make up for.
Yeah. When you started talking about the planning and, well, figuring out when is a good, when can we expect a lot of visitors, when can we expect less visitors, I kind of had in my head, Mr. Erickson coming out on the screen. Here is the visitor forecast for the next 5 days.
That's how it is.
We have a game we play when it's really busy, and everybody's like running around, and then like I'll go outside and explain to the people in the queue, these are our options, this is what you can expect when you go down, because a lot of people are new visitors. And so we'll go through the day, and it'll be like 2:00, and we'll start guessing. Okay, I think we've had 600 people, at 800, and then true as it can be, Mr. Erickson will guess, and he'll be on par. It's not far-fetched what you're saying.
Well, cool. It was just a random idea. I get those a lot, but apparently it was true for a bit.
I think it's being a great businessman that has brought us this far, and that will keep us going.
Good businessman, really likable person. It sounds like it. Sounds like it very much. And again, you have existed for 35
years.
Many years. So that's kind of proof of it.
For sure.
We don't have that much time left, unfortunately. Let's come up with let's take some of the more fun questions. For example, what is your favorite moment? You both have worked in the park for many years now. You must have some moment where you just think back and this was fantastic. This is the story I tell people.
Sure.
I have an embarrassing moment. So there's another lady who volunteers quite regularly, but she can't anymore due to old age. But when I met her, she was in her early 70s. So she came here in August 2012. I started earlier in 2012, and she met me, and it was part of my duties to take care of her. And she's already been a part of our lives for 15 years. So when she comes, she'll help us renovate the snake park and paint and change things, or look at our gardens and make things better. So here I am, and she asked me, okay, so who's your favorite animal? And I couldn't answer her because I was already stuck in so much admin. And she's like, come, let's go to the cheetahs. And I was scared, but now she's really tiny. She's half my size. So here we are, walking towards the cheetahs, and I was hiding behind her. And anyway, that was also my favorite moment, because I got to meet a cheetah who unfortunately is no longer with us. She died due to old age, but her name is Mia. And I remember hearing that purr, and I actually jumped away from her, not realizing that it was, her being absolutely happy and safe in my hands, and stroking her. So I'll forever remember that moment.
Yeah.
But you stuck around anyway.
5-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know, there's so many stories. I think probably one of the funniest ones, because I've had some really special moments. I mean, I've seen a cheetah being born.
That's precious.
I've had the privilege of seeing cheetahs being mate and be together, and get excited about telling those stories. I must say, Mr. Erickson is also very involved with the cheetah breeding side of things. And we'd always come here, and it's very important to make sure that we always observe copulation when cheetahs are mating. And it's always funny when we come and talk about it in the office, and then the ladies get very skeptical because we need to observe actual penetration and that sort of thing. But I think one of the funniest ones from a visitor perspective is it was very ironic. We had the South African hurdles champion. And when I was a tour guide, and he was on tour with me, and we're taking him through the park, and it was a group of about 20 people, and not thinking about anything. We've got these ropes in the Valley of Ancients, and for some reason I thought I'm going to run and jump over the rope, and then and I do it every day. And then that one time while I've got the hurdles champion on my tour, then my foot hits the rope and I fall slap bang on the thing. So that was a funny one.
Yeah.
It's always when other people are watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh dear. Sorry. In case you would can add a new species to the park, to the ranch, which species would you like to include in all of this?
Yeah, I think a big thing for us is we want to try and raise awareness, and we want to try and highlight the plight that various animals are facing out in the wild. I think personally, if there's a continent we're sort of leaving out at the moment, that would be a great one for us to highlight. It would maybe be some of the South American animals. I think that will be something truly special, because there's some really amazing animals in South America, and animals that are facing some really hard challenges out there with deforestation and the impact that people are having on their environment. So I would say I love sloths. Sloths are really amazing.
Say that's
really exciting.
They don't run as fast as cheetahs.
Yeah, no.
And they don't jump hurdles. No.
Yeah.
I think, I agree with Craig. That would be amazing. But I do have a wish that maybe one day, but we don't have enough space. I love giraffes. For some reason, they just they mean so much, and always when you see these motivational quotes and everything, stand tall, and I just associate that with them. And I've been able to feed them, and they're gentle giants. Okay, maybe not always amongst each other, but I mean, from what I've experienced, that would be something I would love to add to our animal collection.
Yeah, very cool. That's actually my favorite mammal.
Oh, wow. Look at that, Craig.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully with enough donations, maybe the park can be expanded a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, there is hopes of that. In fact, if you can just imagine with regards to the age of our facility, across the road at our reserve, we had the cheetah walk. At that side of the reserve, we want to do new cheetah camps because our camps have started deteriorating. So that would be one of those dream wish come true projects for us, but also something we desperately need to look at in the very near future.
Right. So you already have a plan with where to expand the next.
Yes, the dream is there. It's even being drawn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's something that we wanted to initiate about 5 to 6 years ago. And at that stage, I think financially there was hopefully, sort of a light at the end of the tunnel for us to be able to achieve that. And we put in a sort of proposal, but then we have to get approvals from the government, the environmental affairs. They've got to come and approve the site for it, and it took them 5 years to approve that site for us. We only just received approval, and it's great that we've got approval, but now it's just having the money now to build the site. But we've designed it and everything, and so we're ready. We're just waiting for the right time for us to be able to do it. And the new facility will make it possible for us to do things very creatively. The animals will have a lot more of an enriched environment. There will be more modern exhibits as well, which contain the right management tools as well for the animals, husbandry training, and we're even hoping to take our cheetah program to the next level should we be able to get this facility.
Right. I am very unfortunate to say we have reached the end. Again, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you, Carmen and Craig, with us again. But unfortunately, we have to leave the screen very soon for other events. So thank you very much again for joining in. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
That's an honor. It has been wonderful working with all of the people behind the scenes, doing so much to make all of this actually technically possible. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated. It means so much.
Yes, thank you. We second that.
Links everywhere. Continue to donate. I know I need to do it. And there's all to say, have a nice Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.